On the news tonight, public outcry trails latest abduction of pupils and teachers in Kuriga, Kaduna State.
Through our Ministry of Science and Technology, health, education, and related ministries will be mobilized.
President Tinubu pledges support for science and tech development in Nigeria, calls for establishment of National Research Fund.
We don't want to turn our mock to another exam.
260,000 candidates participate in JAM's 2024 mock UTME. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jummai Yusuf. Hingino John Adams will be joining us tonight from Lagos, and Benny Adams is the man on business news for tonight. Remember, you can watch this news broadcast live via our website nta.ng/live and also on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. The President is pledging commitment to the development and application of science, technology and innovation in the quest to ensuring Nigeria's rapid development. President Tinubu made the commitment at his investiture as the Grand Patron of Science by the Nigerian Academy of Science at the State House. State House correspondent Musbao Nawahab reports.
The champion of an 8-point agenda currently targeting an all-round development for Nigeria. But in his idea mix, he certainly needs more than his experiences as an astute accountant and administrator to drive the agenda. In this age and time, the economic development must be knowledge-driven with application of science, technology and innovation pivotal. Here are the leaders of the League of Nigeria's foremost scientists, Nigerian Academy of Science, not just to promise support for the administration, but equally to make the leader also the man in front for their revered association. Now, not just as the president, but also as the Grand Patron of Science, President Tinubu would demonstrate his clear understanding of the place of science, technology and innovation in his development agenda.
I believe without great research and development, no nation can develop to achieve its desire. Pay attention to science and development is a commitment that I will continue to support directly and through various government policies and programs.
Though the commitment of the government needs to come in more ways than one, funding is central.
Through our Ministry of Science and Technology, health, education, and related ministries will be mobilized and supported, and funding for science and development. I am fully committed, and I work at it.
Nigeria, currently with some challenges hindering its growth, but this body of scientists is presenting itself as a partner for the country's development.
The Nigerian Academy of Science has the intellectual capacity to support this transformation. For national problems to be conclusively addressed, there's a need for healthy collaboration between researchers, government, industry, and community in a quadruple helix arrangement. This way, there will be effective research translation, that is, the movement of research output from the laboratories and workshops to inform policy and practice.
Currently, with about 280 fellows across science disciplines, the Nigerian Academy of Science, established in 1977, acts as a scientific advisor to the federal government. From the State House, Musbah Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the President has approved the indefinite suspension from office of the Managing Director and CEO of the Rural Electrification Agency, Ahmed Salihijo Ahmed. This is in light of new findings unearthed during a comprehensive investigation into the financial activities of the agency. Also suspended are some executive directors, including that of Corporate Services, Olani Alaba, the Executive Director Technical Services, Barkasa Joe, and that of Rural Electrification Fund, Saadatu Balgore, were also among those suspended. President Tinubu has also ordered a wider investigation into the conduct of the affected officials in a fraudulent mis-expenditure amounting to more than 1.2 billion naira over the past 2 years, some of which have already been recovered by anti-graft agencies. In the meantime, the President has approved Abba Abubakar Aliu as Managing Director and CEO of the agency on acting capacity, alongside a new management team with immediate effect. Similarly, the President approved the reconstitution of the board of the Nigeria Electricity Liability Management Company, NELCO, with a modification to the company's board structure, which now empowers the office of the Minister of Power to take over the board chairmanship from the office of the Minister of Finance. While the Minister of Power is to serve as board chairman, the Minister of Finance would now serve as the vice chairman. Members of the board include the Director General, Debt Management Office, and the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises. Others are the Managing Director and CEO, Nelco, Mojoyin Oluwa Dekalu Thomas, the Executive Director, Asset Management, Joseph Asuko Bello, and the Executive Director, Corporate Services, Hassan Yahya, all with a 5-year term. Abdullahi Mahmoud Gaya and Professor Ayonfemi Ayondele will, however, serve as non-executive directors of the board for a period of 3 years. Moving on to legislative matters now, the Senate is canvassing an active economic approach that engenders industrial growth in Nigeria and tackles the dual challenge of unemployment and self-sufficiency in power supply. This view was promoted by lawmakers during today's plenary following a motion raised by Senator Ned Nwoko in relation to the supply of electricity by an independent power plant to its host community in Delta State. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Senator Ned Nwoko informed the Senate that since the Okpai Independent Power Plant was set up in 2005, it is yet to fulfill the agreements of supplying electricity to the host community in Delta State.
Despite the presidential pronouncement 2005 and the upgrade of my power plant to 930 megawatts, the people of Ndokwa Nation and the entire Delta North Senatorial District continue to live in darkness.
And this is 2024. Almost 19 years after, this project hasn't taken off.
Senate resolved to investigate and went a step further to ask the federal government to review the power policy and the privatization of the sector.
Most of these independent power generating plants have problems of ownership structure.
If you go into the details, Mr. President, you will find that in the name of private sector injection or participation in this system, public funds have actually been used to bail out private people, and the country is still in the dark.
Whatever conversation that will bring about efficiency, adequacy in electricity for our country, because we can't move an inch to industrialization if we don't have that.
We take a step forward and 2 steps backwards in the country. So I don't see why, when other countries were using nuclear to even get to give power to their people, they will say, don't touch nuclear, so that you remain a dark continent. Now they are moving from nuclear to green energy. They are now telling you, because they've developed themselves. They've already industrialized with nuclear energy.
Senate has passed the bill to establish Federal University of Education, Numan, in Adamawa State. 5 bills passed first reading, including the Pension Reform Act Amendment Bill. The Senate marked the International Women's Day with felicitations from President of the Senate. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, is appealing to electricity consumers nationwide to be patient as the government and industry players are addressing the current epileptic power supply in parts of the country. The minister, in a message through his X handle, expresses concern over the deteriorating electricity supply despite the increase in generation, but says steps are being taken to improve supply. Warning distribution companies over load rejection and willful non-performance, he says his recent meeting with chief executives of the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, and the managing director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is part of engagements to finding lasting solutions to the situation. He confirms that the TCN has been tasked to prioritize repair works on damaged transmission towers and power lines. On debt-owed generation companies and gas suppliers, the Power Minister says plans are underway to settle them, while issues of vandalization recently witnessed in Abuja, Benin, Port Harcourt and Ibadan are being tackled. The House of Representatives has requested the nation's security forces to go the extra mile to rescue about 300 persons, including women and children reportedly abducted by terrorists last Sunday in the Gomboro-Ngala local government area of Borno State. This follows a motion of urgent public importance raised by Representative Zainab Gimba from Borno State, who informed the House that most of the victims were abducted around IDP camps in the area. National Assembly correspondent Mitere Ikpen tells us more.
By waiving 8.
In the course of plenary, the House suspended its rules to accommodate an urgent motion reporting fresh abduction of citizens in Borno State.
The insurgents freed the old age but abducted almost 300 evil young girls and boys. 3 girls escaped from the den of the insurgents, reported that they were taken to a bush close to Bunkar Mairam village along the shores of the Lake Chad, bordering the Republic of Chad and Cameroon.
We urge our security agencies to ensure that these girls who have been adopted, that is causing a lot of tears in the house, that they will not face the same fate with those who were adopted a while ago. Stitching time saves 9.
To prepare citizens for contemporary security challenges, the House adopted a motion urging the Federal Ministry of Education to incorporate security education in primary and secondary schools' curricula.
UNICEF report that since 2018, over 30 schools have been attacked due to escalating security in the country. It has become imperative for children to learn defense mechanisms.
In other resolutions, the House mandated its committees on national planning and economic development, as well as appropriation and finance, to carry out a comprehensive assessment of the implications of the rising foreign exchange on the 2024 national budget.
The 2024 Appropriation Act would be difficult to implement due to foreign exchange volatility.
Meanwhile, the House has summoned the Minister of Niger Delta to appear before its Committee on Public Petitions to respond to alleged exclusion of Edo South Senatorial District in projects contained in the 2024 budget of the ministry.
Mr. Chairman, ours is a case that is very, very pathetic.
And the agencies and ministries that are being saddled with the responsibility to respond to these issues, even one person is not even here. It's quite disappointing.
The committee promised to give all parties in the matter fair hearing. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Now let's move on to the rather unfortunate story from Kaduna State, where bandits are confirmed to have earlier today abducted an unspecified number of school pupils after invading the local education authority primary school Kuriga in Shikun local government area. While reports indicate that some staff of the school, including the head teacher, were also abducted. The total number of persons currently missing is unclear and yet to be officially confirmed by the relevant security agencies. We can, however, confirm that the state governor was Ubasani, accompanied by security agencies, were on their way to the affected community. We're trying to establish contact with our correspondent on the governor's entourage for some fresh information on the incident and the governor's visit. Do we have him on there? Mohammed Umar Anjigi, are you there?
I'm there. Good evening.
So can you give us a situation report on the incident with regards the number of persons currently unaccounted for in the wake of the incident? Let's have the situation report.
Well, like you said, the state governor, Ubasani, accompanied by security agencies, and of course the journalists, we visited this community, Kuriga. It is a community, though it is under Chuku local government area, where it is very close to Benungwari, about 25 kilometers to Benungwari. And Benungwari is one of the local government in the state that is worst hit by these bandit activities. The early hours of today in the morning, the bandits stormed this primary school and then abducted a number of students. It is too early. We cannot say this is the exact number of the pupils that were abducted because the security agencies, in collaboration with the school management, are still counting to ascertain the number of the pupils that were abducted by these bandits. The cheering news is that 25 among the pupils are already back, and then the governor, accompanied by the security agencies, have assured the community of the government's commitment, both the state and federal government, to provide them with adequate security, a police outpost in that very village, as well as a military camp to protect the citizens.
Okay, Mohammed Umar, can you tell us what the state government is saying? Because this apparently is one incident too many in Kaduna State.
Well, it is quite a disturbing incident. Like you said, the governor was quite worried. He assured the people that in collaboration with the security agencies, they will do all they could to ensure the safe return of these students. He assured the community, the parents, that by the grace of God, these students will be back soon. This is what the governor is saying. We've had an interview with him.
Okay, Mohammed Umar Ajigi, I'm sure the parents are worried and Nigerians are praying.
As much as possible to ensure that every child returns by the grace of God, inshallah. We are doing our best. I'm going to work with the community leaders. I want to work with the traditional leaders here, as well as the youth, to ensure that every child return back home by the grace of God. And we have also sat down with the parents of those children that have been kidnapped. Even we have sent a strong message to the mothers, and we made it clear to them that one of the most important responsibilities of the government is this, to ensure that we protect the lives and properties of our citizens, and we ensure that by the grace of God, every child return home by the grace of God.
Okay, Mohammed Umar Anjigi, I'm sure Nigerians are praying for the safe return of these pupils to their parents, and we hope this never happens again, not again.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on Network News today to give us update. I'm sure in the course of other bulletins, you'll be reached out to get more information on the situation in Kaduna.
Yes,
Thank
we'll
you.
keep you updated by Vasquez. Thank you.
We'll take a break. When we return, Network News continues. Don't go away. You're still watching NTA Network News. A total of 250 law students who bagged first class in the November 2023 bar final examination were among those who participated in a call-to-bar exercise which held earlier today in Abuja. Omenka Amarachuku reports that the chairman, body of benches, Justice Mary Odili, urged the new weeks to demonstrate high level of professionals, ethics and dignity of the law profession.
That handshake by the Chairman Board of Benchers, Justice Mary Odili, to the new weeks formed part of the activities for the 2023 Cultural ceremonies.
I have read in the papers about the increased funding of the judiciary, which is a positive development. I hope it will be backed by adequate release of funds as and when due.
This profession that they've joined willingly has its own rules and regulations. We have our own ethics and ethos. They must abide by it.
The legal profession is a very noble one. They really need to understand that unlike other professions, after your graduation, you may not bother reading, but the legal profession, you keep reading.
I believe that I would learn as time goes on. What we learned in school, in theory, is different from what is in the real world.
In this feat today is really something worthwhile, and I'm very grateful to God Almighty, to friends, to my family.
I would use my experience to help people in any way that I can, to use my knowledge of the law to provide justice for the indigent and those who do not otherwise have easy access to justice.
Established in 1963, the Nigerian Law School has produced over 135,000 legal practitioners, with many of them becoming judges and justices, manning judicial divisions across the country. In Abuja, Umeka Marchku, NTA News.
More than 260,000 candidates have participated in the In the 2024 UTME mock examination across 793 CBT centers in the country. Olainka Ojo reports that the exercise was organized by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB.
This UTME mock exercise is a test aimed at preparing these candidates for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination proper. It was a hitch-free exercise at this center in Buari, where the candidates had 2 hours to convince the examiner.
Yesterday, we conducted the recruitment for the Police Service Commission throughout the country. That was a mock before today's mock, and we have about 3 or 4 places where there are one each or the other.
Although a total of 1.98 million candidates registered for the UTME, the mock examination, according to the registrar, also afforded the board the opportunity to test run some of its recent innovation.
We don't want to turn our mock to another exam, so that's why we didn't allow more than that number to register for the mock exam, which was just to test our system.
The results of the examination are expected to be released within 24 hours. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
The management of Boa Cement has increased production and is pushing into the market millions of tons of cement. This, the company says, is to boost supply and bring down price. Minister of Works Dave Umahi was at the company's factory at Kalambena, Sokoto, to assess the progress made so far. Abdullahi Muhammad reports.
Yeah, we told the minister Abuja is bringing in 6 million tons of cement production, to the market.
That was the promise made by Boa Group in a meeting with manufacturers of cement and the Minister of Works weeks ago. The company didn't stop there, but opened up the gates of its manufacturing site in Kalambena, Sokoto, for the minister to see them walk the talk. Boa Group not only impressed the minister with its world-class cement production facility, but the speed at which they are executing the move to flood the market with cement.
Mr. President's insistence is that we should go back to status quo as far as the cement price, is concerned for the common man. And I want to encourage them to abide by the directive of Mr. President so that we can achieve the massive housing program of Mr. President and the renewed hope agenda on concrete road.
The magic is that the company has started up a new plant which is adding to its production capacity 165 trucks on a daily basis.
We're putting almost 400 trucks per day of cement into the market. And we believe this additional capacity is going to have a serious effect, on the supply and demand issue of the country. And we also gave him our commitment that we don't believe cement should sell more than 7,000 to 8,000 naira anywhere in Nigeria.
Cement product is very critical and a major component towards delivery of housing projects by the federal government, by state government, and even by private sector in our country. So this collaboration with cement manufacturers and the government is very critical.
The use of concrete for road construction remains the new policy of government, and a skyrocketing price of cement could jeopardize that move. Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
And from Lagos, we hear that a new center that will redefine tourism and entertainment in Nigeria will soon be unveiled, known as Macarius Water Showplace. The center is expected to project and entertain, as well as provide comfort for fun seekers and their families in exciting ways. Bolaji Akim completes the report.
The Macarius Water Showplace, situated in the Macarius Luxury Place along Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, is a combination of innovation and technology. The Macarius Water Showplace, the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa, will dish out a powerful combination of water, lightning, music, and holographic display of three-dimensional images. The Macarius Water Showplace boasts of well-treated water with 180 nozzles of 45 meters long attached to shoot the water as high as 20 meters to form a wall. The water showplace will not only dazzle its audience, but will also provide maximum relaxation for guests. Taking journalists around the center, the initiator and chairman Macarius Property, Matthew Ashimoluwo, said the aim is to celebrate Nigerian culture and at the same time provide a conducive entertainment environment for visitors.
We shall do music of Nigeria past and music of Nigeria present. It is going to be exciting. Then we'll do some more exciting thing about Nigeria. But we wouldn't stop there. There is the phase where we will even be able to take things from those who came to our show and will project. But that will mean that you have paid up front for us to surprise your girlfriend or your wife as she's watching the water. She just sees, "Happy birthday, my dear wife, your husband, Matthew Ashimolo," or something like that.
Matthew Ashimolo added that the center will also provide the first of its kind services with latest innovation to entertain families.
So there'll be an event place, there'll be a love garden, there's a hotel. So you can come, you can have your wedding, you can have your party, as long as it flows with our terms and agreement.
The Macarius Water Showplace has its water supply from double-treated 575,000 liters water tank in Macarius Luxury Place, a work and living estate with good road network and a state-of-the-art infrastructure. The water showplace is expected to be inaugurated on Easter Monday. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
For more news from Lagos, Hingino is our guide. Hello, Hingino.
Jumai. 12 years after its creation, the Obafemi Awolowo Prize for Leadership chose Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the 8th elected president of the African Development Bank, as its 4th leadership recipient for 2023. Lanre Gbeleyi was at the ceremony where Vice President Kashim Shettima and other heads of state on the continent paid glowing tributes to the awardee.
Of states of Comoros, Ethiopia, Togo, and Tanzania, among former Nigerian heads of state, at the award testify to the excellent leadership qualities of Akinwumi Adesina. Joining his voice to that of his colleagues on the continent, Vice President Kashim Shettima described Akinwumi Adesina as a man who exemplifies the virtues of true leadership.
Today we are here to celebrate a maverick changemaker who has not only flown our flag all over the world, but has dazzled the world with the nobility of his thoughts, indispensability of his ideas, and dynamism of his actions. Today, we gather to honor a man who has carved his path in one of the most challenging offices to lead, Dr. Akinwumi Ayodeji Adeshina.
Just as Chief of Wolowo, Adeshina is one among the few visionaries for Nigeria's and Africa's development.
He represents the best of Nigeria, hard-working, diligent, brilliant, forward-looking, and deeply patriotic.
Dr. Adeshina says the award is now an impetus to do more.
It was common then to hear the phrase, Agbeloba, farmers are kings, uttered with great pride. We must give new life to our rural areas.
The Obafemi Awolowo Foundation, founded in 1992 as an independent, non-profit, non-partisan organization, gave birth to the Obafemi Awolowo Prize for Leadership in 2012 to reward individuals who have displayed exemplary leadership qualities within and outside the country. The award is given every 2 years. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
Hour of tributes pouring in honor of renowned banker Herbert Wigwe, who died alongside his wife, son, close associate and former chairman Nigerian group Bimbo Ogunbanjo, got to the peak with words from the President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, among other distinguished Nigerians who took turns to honor Herbert Wigwe. Amaka Owo witnessed the ceremony tagged Celebrating the Three and now reports.
This is an unusual gathering of who is who in Nigeria. Representatives from the international community, the corporate world, diplomats, including representative of the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, state governors, past and present, all eulogize Herbert Wigwe. The man, Herbert Wigwe, was described as a legend with exceptional abilities that brought about transformation in his close-circle career, religious life, and philanthropic endeavors.
He's such a fantastic human being, highly detribalized. That's one of the things that attracted him to me, and we've been very good friends until death.
He had completed his journey and his works on this earth and had called him back. We loved him, but God loved him most.
The deceased was said to have exuded the larger-than-life aura during his lifetime, impacting lives across board. Indeed, he is called Herbert the Great because he left behind lasting legacies and became greater even in death.
And I got to know Herbert when he was very young, very vibrant, inquisitive young man, and I'm not surprised that he became as successful as he was.
Energetic, fearless, focused, positively ambitious, doesn't take no for an answer. Go-getter. Above all, he has it well screwed up there.
As the journey of this global citizen who transformed friendship to brotherhood and died alongside his wife and son gradually comes to an end, family members, close associates, friends of the deceased take solace in the quality of life that he lived as he impacted mankind. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Network News continues in Abuja after this break.
Thanks for joining us. We hear the Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe has launched a major operation against oil theft in the Niger Delta, uncovering over 30 illegal refining sites in Sakiri, Cotton Channel 1 in Degema local government area near Boni Highland in Rivers State, led by the JTF commander Rear Admiral John Okeke. The raid was conducted based on intelligence reports and involved collaboration with other security agencies. Baratua Pere Awe reports.
Illegal refining of petroleum products and oil theft is a task for the Nigerian military operation. In the face of this, the Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe is not relenting in combating this criminality. Just recently, the JTF uncovered 2 vast oil bunkering sites in Sankri community, a small settlement located in Degema local government area of Rivers State. This is a major oil pipeline along Sankri Cotton Channel 1, Degema, where oil thieves vandalized and diverted the nation's resources for bunkering activities. The Commander Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe OPDS, Rear Admiral John Okeke, represented by the Maritime Component Commander Commodore Adedokun Siambade, reveals that over 30 illegal crude oil refining camps are in operation in the area, noting that though no arrest has been made, the joint operation will not allow the Niger Delta to be a safe haven for criminals. He maintained that the operation will sustain surveillance to force out economic saboteurs in the region.
The Joint Task Force is not relenting in its efforts to rid this environment of crude oil theft and associated crimes. And as we have always been saying, we are not going to give room for people that are bent on impinging on the country's source of income.
It will be recalled that the JTF on a fortnight ago destroyed some illegally refining sites in Ataba, close to Bonny, Rivers State. From Degema, Rivers State, Baratwaipre Awe, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Economic Council Subcommittee on Oil Theft, Control and Management has vowed to be thorough in its report as a first-step measure in ending crude oil sabotage and reversing Nigeria's dwindling fortune from oil export. Chairman of the committee and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, says it has conducted extensive findings and consultations that will guide them in delivering the national assignment for the prosperity of the oil sector. After a closed-door session with members of the committee, Hope Uzodinma confirms that a robust report will be presented to the National Economic Council for implementation.
Yeah, a report that will be very bold and courageous, that will be useful to NEC, and if implemented, will stop this monster called crude oil theft, so that our natural resources endowed by God, oil and gas, will be able to tap into it and develop our country.
Governors of Yobe, Cross River and Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State are part of the fact-finding committee aimed at enforcing sanity in the Nigerian oil and gas sector with solutions that will address illegalities on both long and short-term basis. Benny Adams is seated with news from the business world. Hello, Benny.
Thank you, Jumai. And now talking business, Nigeria is set to take the lead in digital trade in Africa by boosting e-commerce capabilities. This is as the African Continental Market National Action Committee is working with stakeholders from across the country towards developing a protocol on digital trade for Nigeria's active participation in the continental market space. The focus is on promoting and facilitating digitally enabled transactions, considering commitments made by member states regarding trading goods and services under the FCFTA.
Of poverty, trade our way out of unemployment, now trade our way into prosperity. And so that is what we think AFTA is bringing to the table.
We already are leading in the digital e-commerce space. We already are leading other African countries, including in the fintech. And what the government will be advised to do is to encourage.
And taking a look at the markets, investors gained 420.47 billion naira as the oil share index advanced by 0.75% to close at 100,335.30 basis points. The total volume traded advanced by 33.19% to close at 554.72 million naira, valued at 17.73 billion naira, and traded in 9,708 deals. Transcap was the most traded stock by volume and value with 301.36 million naira and 5.65 billion naira at the close of trading. The market recorded 25 gainers, 33 losers, and 61 remained unchanged. That is business news. Network news continues with Jamaica.
Benny, always nice doing business with you. A Nigerian Air Force Super Mushak trainer aircraft has been involved in a minor mishap which occurred this Thursday, 7th March 2024 at about 2:35 p.m. New NAV Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gabwet, indicates in a press release that the accident, which occurred about 3.5 nautical miles from Kaduna military airfield, involved two pilots who were returning from a routine training flight. Both pilots escaped the crash unhurt. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has directed preliminary investigation to determine the immediate cause of the crash. Now to agric matters. In response to the persistent challenges of malnutrition and food insecurity in Nigeria, state commissioners overseeing budget, agriculture and health have gathered in the Federal Capital Territory to seek ways of transforming the nation's food systems and address critical challenges affecting improved nutrition. Nneka Oko reports that the focus is on establishing effective pathways to improve the situation.
Nigeria, a country with a population of more than 200 million people, faces numerous hurdles when it comes to ensuring adequate access to nutritious food. With high rates of malnutrition, particularly among women and children, and a growing population that is expected to double by 2050, it has become imperative to address the country's food system challenges.
It can be changed by systematically building a food system with necessary funds.
States, they are the major actor in the implementation of the food system because food is grown at the state level and community level.
We know that states don't have all the funding that they need, but there's help. But that help needs a strategy to unlock.
And we are all asking that government make more commitments.
One of the key challenges identified was poor coordination among relevant ministries. This Minister of Budget and Economic Planning side could be addressed by aligning budget with the priorities of the agriculture and health sectors.
As experience have shown, it's not even a resource challenge because even if you have the resources and you put them to use wrongly, you achieve nothing. But working together, we can boost food production.
And in this period of worldwide economic turmoil, pandemics and climate change, the importance and imperative of transforming our food systems is even more urgent.
Food security particularly is important in Nigeria today because when any system fails, be it economic development, be it agriculture, the consequences felt in health.
Driven by a shared vision to combat malnutrition and reshape food systems, the participants stressed the need for sustained efforts and collaboration among all stakeholders. In Abuja, Nneka Oko, NTA News.
We'll take another commercial break. NTA Network News continues shortly. Welcome back. Like a goldfish that has no hiding place, the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembas, has once again been recognized for his contributions in the media space. This time, the award is coming from Nigeria's iconic Watch Media International magazine. Ekene Ndulue captured the moments.
Music and decor provided a pleasant ambience at the Shehu Musa Yaradua Center, Abuja, as awardees were feted by friends and family. It is the Legacy Awards show, and the organizers say it is a reward for excellence for those who have made contributions to humanity and development of their environments. Among the 25 selected awardees is the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, recognized as the Media Icon of the Year. He was represented by the Executive Director of Special Duties, Adamu Sambo.
The award, I must say, is a befitting honor to whom honor is due, and this will not be taken for granted by the NTA. You have definitely made the right choice, because the DG of NTA is one development advocate whose passion for media excellence, good governance, and effective delivery of service to those in need is never in doubt.
Other recipients include the wife of the governor of Taraba State and Africa Independent Television, AIT. The organizers are hoping that the recognition will spur others to work towards achieving excellence.
It's to promote excellence and to make sure that a lot of people stand in the good parts by emulating those that are receiving the award.
It was also an opportunity for fundraising towards the construction of a legacy building for the iconic Watch International magazine. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
And that's NTA Network News for tonight. Thanks so much for your time. I am Jummai Yusuf.